A young woman named Emma walked into the luxurious Rolls-Royce showroom with a quiet confidence that went unnoticed among the polished sales staff. She wasn't there to buy a car. She had an urgent reason for being in the showroom, one that would soon shake everyone's assumptions. The moment she approached the gleaming Rolls-Royce Phantom, she noticed a subtle problem with the engine's startup. While the salesmen were distracted by the CEO giving a presentation, Emma knelt by the car and began inspecting the vehicle with precision and care. The showroom buzzed with customers, but Emma worked swiftly and silently. Her hands moved expertly over the engine components, adjusting, tightening, and recalibrating parts that seemed to puzzle the mechanics on staff. Within minutes, the car roared to life perfectly. Nearby, the CEO, Alexander Hart, noticed the sound and turned, surprised to see a young woman standing near the vehicle. "Excuse me," he said, his tone carrying both curiosity and mild annoyance. "Who are you, and what are you doing to my car?" Emma looked up calmly, wiping her hands. "Just fixing it. It had a minor misalignment in the fuel injection system, nothing serious." Her voice carried authority, though she wore casual clothes and no badge to indicate her credentials. The CEO's eyes narrowed. He was used to engineers and technicians bowing to him, not giving concise explanations. He stepped closer, intrigued and slightly irritated. "And who taught you to do this?" he asked, expecting some humble answer. Emma smiled faintly. "I've had my share of hands-on experience, cars, engines. It's a passion. I prefer action over theory, and I'm not intimidated by complex machinery." Her confidence was undeniable, even as she remained composed. A crowd began gathering, sensing tension and curiosity. Salesmen whispered among themselves, impressed but wary of the audacity of a young woman working in the CEO's space without permission. Yet no one dared interrupt her. Alexander Hart leaned against a nearby display, folding his arms. "You fixed it too quickly. Most of my engineers would have taken hours. Do you have experience working for any major automotive company?" he asked, masking his surprise with professionalism. Emma shook her head. "Not professionally. I've always preferred learning by doing, testing, and figuring things out myself. I believe understanding something deeply comes from experience, not just titles." Her gaze was steady, unwavering. The CEO's curiosity turned into intrigue. This wasn't the usual encounter. Most people either fawned or failed. Emma was different, capable, confident, and composed. He had to know more. "And your name is?" he asked, a hint of admiration creeping into his voice. "Emma Hart," she said simply. The CEO froze for a fraction of a second. "Hart," he echoed. Recognition sparked in his eyes, but he wasn't sure if he had heard correctly. He had never met anyone else from the Hart lineage in the industry. Emma nodded, letting the silence linger for a moment before continuing. "Yes, I own the company," she said. A subtle smile touched her lips. The revelation hit the showroom like a jolt of electricity. People gasped quietly, realizing the irony. This humble young woman had just fixed the CEO's car. Alexander's expression changed instantly, from surprise to a mixture of respect and amusement. He had been used to asserting authority, yet here was someone who commanded respect without a word of arrogance. "You own the company?" he repeated, trying to mask the astonishment. Emma nodded again. "I prefer to observe, understand, and act rather than sit in a boardroom. Today, I wanted to see the operations firsthand and perhaps test how people react when confronted with unexpected competence." Her eyes sparkled with quiet triumph. The CEO laughed softly, a genuine chuckle that carried warmth. "I must admit, I did not expect this. Not only did you fix my car, but you also taught me a lesson about humility. It seems I underestimated you." He extended his hand, now in genuine respect. Emma shook it firmly, her poise unwavering. Sometimes authority needs a reminder. Talent isn't about appearances, titles, or age. It's about capability, action, and heart. Her words resonated in the showroom, leaving a lasting impression on all who witnessed the exchange. The staff and customers whispered among themselves, some in awe, some inspired. Emma's presence had changed the energy of the showroom. It was no longer a place of ordinary transactions. It had become a stage for inspiration, skill, and revelation. As Emma walked toward the exit, the CEO called after her, "Next time, don't surprise me so easily. I might start doubting all my assumptions." She smiled, not needing validation, and replied, "Assumptions are often overrated." The story of that day spread quickly, reaching headlines and social media. A poor girl, or so they assumed, had fixed a luxury car in the CEO's presence, only to reveal she was the very owner of the company. It was a story of ingenuity, courage, and unexpected revelation. Emma's quiet competence and humble approach became a symbol for young professionals everywhere. She had shown that skill, confidence, and vision were more powerful than status or expectation, and that sometimes the most transformative leaders are those who lead without seeking recognition. The CEO, now fully aware of the lesson, watched her leave with admiration. That day, not only did Emma fix his car, but she also shook his perception of leadership, success, and true ability. The Rolls-Royce showroom would never forget the girl who redefined respect.